Okay, we've got to talk about what's going on in the UK. We've got crazy drones, UFOs, UAP, whatever they are, over the UK air bases, and now we have troops actually being deployed to investigate and maybe deal with these incursions, whatever they are. I guess they actually are incursions, so let's talk about it. Get in here. This is Jack with Cosmic Road. I'll talk about UFOs and the paranormal. Please hit like and subscribe and let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Yeah, we've got multiple articles talking about this. This is from Liberation Times with Chris Sharp. USAF confirms drone incursions over UK bases spanning 5 consecutive days amid further reports of activity. The United States Air Force has confirmed that small unmanned aerial systems were observed above 3 of its UK bases in the east of England over a continuous 5-day period. In comments which have now been officially published, a spokesperson told Liberation Times small unmanned aerial systems were spotted in the vicinity of and over Royal Air Force Base Lakenheath, RAF Mildenhall, and RAF Feltwell between November 20th and November 24th. The number of systems fluctuated and they ranged in sizes and configurations. The UASs were actively monitored, and installation leaders determined that none of the incursions impacted base residents. Well, that's encouraging, but then why are there troops being sent out to investigate them? I guess just because something is spying on these bases and that's considered a threat in the UK, whereas nobody seemed to do jack about it in the US, which is interesting. Dozens, this is from the Times, dozens of British troops have been deployed to locations across the country to try to discover who is responsible for flying drones over U.S. Air Force bases amid concerns it could be part of a sinister plot. A small number of drones have again been spotted flying near U.S. Air Force bases in the UK after a number were seen over 3 bases last week. About 60 UK military personnel have been deployed to provide the U.S. with assistance. A military source also confirmed that the RAF had offered the U.S. a counter-drone system that can electronically take command of an enemy drone and turn it back on itself to try to identify those flying the drones. The U.S. Air Force said it was monitoring the airspace over the East Anglian bases, RAF Lakenheath, Mildenhall, Feltwell, after the drones were seen overnight. Well, they didn't use any of their techniques to take down any of the drones over the U.S. air bases, so it'll be interesting to see if they change course and actually do something proactively with the drones over the U.K. bases. Now, we can debate about whether they should do that or not, if these are actually UFOs and they are not being overtly hostile. Should we actually take them down? On the other hand, you could say, well, they are spying on our bases and gathering data, and maybe that's not for our best interest, and maybe that's why they should be taken down. So let me know what you guys think. It's definitely a sticky situation. And here's what the War Zone had to say about it. Mysterious drones have descended again on U.S. air bases in the UK. I'm not going to read the whole article, but there are news people talking about it, and there's also a response from the Pentagon.
Coming from our security and defence editor, Deborah Hames. We brought you a story a couple of weeks last week about drones being spotted over air bases. Well, a number of unidentified drones have again been spotted over 3 air bases in Britain that are used by the United States Air Force. US military units are monitoring the airspace over RAF Lakenheath, RAF Mildenhall in Suffolk, and RAF Feltwell in Norfolk after the drones were sighted overnight. The UK authorities are working to ensure the safety of the sites. A quote from the US Air Forces in Europe, they say, "I can confirm the situation's ongoing. Our units continue to monitor the airspace and are working with host nation authorities and mission partners to ensure the safety of base personnel, facilities and assets. To safeguard operational security, we do not discuss specific force protection measures. but we retain the right to protect our installations. Now, as I was saying, this comes after unidentified drones were previously spotted between Wednesday and Friday last week over the same 3 air bases, which is highly unusual. The US Air Force said at the time it was unclear whether the drones were considered hostile. We've approached the RAF for comment, but haven't got any comment from them as yet. So it appears that more unidentified drones have been spotted over 3 air bases that are used by the United States.
Okay, yeah, so why just those 3 air bases, right? And why only U.S. air bases? Because we haven't heard of any drones over UK air bases. So, what's the deal there? Is our deal with the beings, is it between the U.S. and the beings, and it's not between the UK and the beings, and something is going on with the deal, and now the beings are making themselves known? Something like that, or is it just Russia or China trying to see what the U.S. is up to, and they're not so interested in what the U.K. is up to, or possibly just again making their presence known, to the U.S. and saying, hey, look at us guys, look what we can do. We can get in and out of your bases, and you can't stop us. Of course, that could be the same whether that's a human actor involved or an inhuman actor. And there are people debating just that. Here's what Tim McMillan had to say. This is a pretty common Russian reflexive control tactic. We saw the same thing over Sweden and Finland when they first started discussing joining NATO. The recent drone wave is likely in response to the West green-lighting Ukraine to use ATACMs inside Russia. So he believes that it's more Russian. However, Patrick Jackson believes it's more UFO-ish, more alien-ish, NHI-ish. He says he actually is 30 minutes away from Lakenheath, where one of those bases were, and he sees a classic, UFO, a sphere in the sky, going in the direction of the base. So yeah, let's take a look at this sphere. It's not going super fast. Could that be a satellite? Could that be a plane? I don't think it's a plane. There's no blinking lights on it. But, could it be a satellite? Sure, I guess. I'll let you satellite experts tell me if you think this is a satellite or not. But Patrick Jackson thinks this is an anomalous object and that it is going in the direction of the base where these drone incursions are going on, or at least one of the bases. So yeah, what is up with those 3 bases? Are they storing nuclear material there? If so, then why not, have incursions over all these sites where there are nuclear material? It's really interesting, guys. Trying to make sense of this. Of course, the Pentagon has responded. It's almost a 5-minute clip, but I'll play a little bit of it. Here goes.
But the bottom line is, again, still assessing what these are, and, just don't have anything further to pass along. I'd refer you to U.S. Air Forces in Europe, which I'm sure you're in contact with, just to keep in touch on the latest on that.
And can you share anything yet about how you guys are detecting or countering them?
Again, I don't want to get into the specifics in terms of tactics, techniques, and procedures as it relates to force protection. Certainly, we have a variety of means at our disposal, and we will protect our personnel and our facilities. But, again, just to kind of put this into context, even here in the United States, right? If there are drones that are being flown by hobbyists or some other entity, you want to make sure that you're doing due diligence not only to protect yourself and the safety of others, but also using appropriate measures in order to not inadvertently create second and third order effects. In other words, potentially harming the civilian communities in which we operate in and around. So again, right now the assessment is that these drones have had no operational impact or safety impact on our personnel at any of these facilities. We're keeping a close eye on them. We're of course communicating very regularly with the UK host nation authorities, and we'll take appropriate measures again to protect our personnel and our people. Sure.
Just a quick follow-up. Have there been any drone incidents domestically since October?
That's a hard question to answer, Jen, because the reality is on any given day, Pat Ryder hobbyist drone pilot can fly my drone next to a base and it's in and it's out, and is that a drone incident? Or are we talking about something more serious, where like the Langley incident, where there's multiple drones operating over a facility for multiple days?
So he's not going to give us a straight answer on whether there are continuing drone incursions over U.S. Air Force bases, but definitely a good question. In the U.S., obviously there are drone incursions over Air Force bases abroad, which is interesting. So is this situation escalating? Is the phenomenon or the human actor involved escalating these series of incidents toward something, or just continuing to make themselves known and saying, hey, look, we can get you over in the U.S., but we can also get you over in the U.K.? Because it is interesting that they don't seem to be targeting the U.K. bases, at least so far as I've seen. Now, if you see that, let me know, because that'll definitely be interesting, and that might change things a little bit. But it's also worth noting that if these were Chinese or Russian drones, well, they often have blinking lights. They often make no attempt at subterfuge or stealth. You would think that if these were, spy drones, they would try to be a little stealthier. They are not. They are not stealthy at all. They are very obvious. There's multiple newspaper articles and news reports about them. They are very apparent. So is that the phenomenon, again, trying to make itself known for whatever reason? Or is that Russia or China trying to make itself known for more obvious reasons? I've been looking for more anomalous features to these drone incursions to see if anybody is having abduction experiences or ghost-related experiences, something odd, something of high strangeness that is possibly related to these drone incursions, but I haven't seen that yet. So if you've seen that, let me know, because that would definitely lend itself more toward an alien or NHI explanation rather than Russia or China. If you guys have seen that, let me know. Obviously, it'd be nice to know if we're dealing with aliens or not. Either way, the drones have gone worldwide, guys. So let me know what you think about it in the comments below. And if you've enjoyed this video, please give me a big thumbs up. I sure appreciate it. Smash the like button and the bell to be notified of future videos. You don't miss a thing. Join me on social media. There's Facebook and Twitter links below. Love to see you guys there. If you want to support Cosmic Road in a bigger way, consider grabbing a coffee mug or a t-shirt in the merch store below, or by becoming a channel member. Channel members are rock stars, and I really appreciate you guys' support. Thank you. Meanwhile, there's plenty of other videos on the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. This is Jack with Cosmic Road, signing out.